What's up, y'all? It's TruthTiger, and today I'm going to tell y'all that the Epstein files are just the tip of the iceberg. You know, there's probably a lot more than one Epstein Island. There's probably lots of trafficking going on. We know we found the Epstein Island. We found the Diddy parties. That's just the stuff we found and the stuff that we know about. And that's the stuff that the system, the Matrix, feels like they have to reveal to us. And so far, the only people who've really been punished have been Diddy, Epstein. I guess Ghislaine Maxwell is in jail for a little bit, but she's definitely getting a little slap on the wrist. And a lot of people have made politicians into their heroes. They've made celebrities into their heroes. They're going to find that these politicians and celebrities went to the Epstein Island and did sick stuff. Even if they didn't, they enabled it and they were involved in it. I mean, for example, New York just elected a socialist mayor, Zoran Mamdani, and I guess his mom is on the Epstein files, where Epstein made a party for Zoran Mamdani's mom. And now a lot of the socialists and far leftists, you know, now they're protesting outside his house. Not his house, but the New York City mayoral house. Because they got duped, they got deceived. They thought this guy was going to save them and help them, but nope, he's on the list. And I see a lot of people commenting, well, Obama's not on the Epstein list. He probably went to the Diddy parties or something, or maybe his name's just not mentioned, you know? So it's really some pretty crazy stuff. And it's on both sides. I saw Steve Bannon, who's a pretty hardcore right-wing guy. He's on the Epstein list a lot. It's people from the right, people from the left. It's anybody who really has money and power in society is a part of this Epstein thing. And the thing is it goes deeper than just exploitation of minors. It goes deeper than trafficking, underage children. I believe that they sacrifice the children. I believe that they drink blood. I believe that they do all sorts of crazy, nasty stuff. This is a worldwide thing that involves tons and tons of people, and this is just what they're telling us. This is just what we know. Even in the Epstein files themselves, there are tons of names that are redacted, tons of names that have a little black thing over them where you can't see who it is. So there's still a lot of stuff that they are not telling us. There's still a lot of stuff that's not been exposed, and I think when we really get down to the bottom of this, when we really get down to the full iceberg and we really see how big this thing really is, people are going to start going crazy. People are going to be very upset. People are going to be very pissed off. And the thing is like the mentality of the people who rule the world is a psychopathic, no morals and ethics mentality. It's a love of money. It's a love of ego. And it's a lie, cheat, steal, and manipulate any way that you can. That's how these people think. And, for someone to have such low morals and ethics that they would have an island full of underage children to be, exploited and abused, if they would have low morals and ethics to do that, think about what else they could do. There's certain world events like 9/11 and COVID-19 that these people could very well have orchestrated. And, the Epstein files are millions. There's millions of pages, millions of documents. It's going to be very hard to pour through all that. I know people are starting to do that. The mainstream media is not really covering this very much. Surprise, surprise. They want you to focus on ICE, the ICE protests, which in some cases are riots, or, the ICE raids, ICE shooting people, whatever. They want you to focus on that and not to be focused on these Epstein files. There's a lot of other distractions, a lot of other events, a lot of other maybe accidents, stuff like that you kind of got to wonder what is really happening here. What are these kind of rituals these people are performing? Why do they sort of do these negative things to the world and negative things to the population? But, it's all going to come out. It's all going to come out. If we just keep pushing, we keep digging, we keep focusing on the files, we don't focus on other stuff, these files will come out and we will start to dig down deep into that iceberg and figure out, or drill down deep into that iceberg until we're like, whoa, we've really gotten to the bottom of this thing. And there's definitely a satanic global elite religion that they are a part of. Think about Bohemian Grove, where they burn a giant effigy. If you really research this, there's tons of rituals that these creepy elites perform, mostly dark and satanic. mostly very idolatrous. And a lot of them on the right-wing side of things will say that they are Christians, but then they will go and be with the Freemasons and do God knows what in these secret societies. And this Epstein list, it is the tip of the iceberg. There is so much more underneath it. There's so much more that we have not seen. There's so much more that has not been revealed. And a lot of big people that, you used to look up to, you used to admire, you're going to look at them and you're going to be like, oh my gosh, wow, they're on that list. And the thing is like, I remember I watched a movie called Get Him to the Greek. P. Diddy was in that movie, and P. Diddy was really funny. Talented actor, charismatic, and I was like, man, P. Diddy should act in more movies. He's really funny. But then you come to find out who he really is, and that's the thing about a lot of these people. They are very charming. Jeffrey Epstein was a very charming, personable person. You'd meet him, you'd shake his hand, you'd probably like him. If he could mask the evil in his eyes. You go, hey, what's up, bud? I'd give you a pat on the back. You want to take a little swim in my pool? Go ahead. I'll have one of my people who work for me give you a hot towel afterwards. Oh man, this Epstein guy's cool. But behind that curtain, behind the fake charm, behind the veil is something really, really, really sick. There could be stuff involving bestiality. There's definitely a lot of stuff involving blood. And with occult rituals and witchcraft and stuff like that, drinking blood is a big, big part of it. It really is. And we really need to see just how creepy, how immoral, and how unethical these global elites are. It's a global thing. We think this is just in the West, too. This is all over the world. I believe the Dalai Lama was mentioned a lot in the Epstein files. What a good, nice guy he is. Supposedly, but not really. So, when you really dig into this stuff, you're going to see that none of these people are pure. None of these people are good. And it's not just a small indiscretion. They had an affair on their wife. They stole some money from the taxes or whatever. It's not just some stuff like that. It's really deep, really bad, really nasty stuff. And even if there are some people that did not directly participate, they knew what was going on. They were aware of what was going on, and then they enabled it. They looked the other way. And they wanted the money, they wanted the power, they wanted to be in the club, and they chose to enable, and they chose to look the other way. And you got to wonder, is anyone clean? Is anyone pure? How much other stuff have we been lied to about? There's something called the Finders Club, and this is actually declassified. They'll speak on it. This was run by the United States government to traffic children for really creepy bad purposes, but this was kind of swept under the rug. But the Finders Cult, I think it's called the Finders Club. Google it, the Finders Club. They've been doing this stuff before. This is not new. Do you remember the satanic panic of the 80s? Guess what? It's true. It's true. They have been doing this stuff for centuries and decades and millennium. They've been doing this stuff. It's not the best way of phrasing it, but they've been doing this stuff since the dawn of time, since ancient Egypt. They've been doing this stuff, and it's tied to devil worship. It's tied to the worship of Baal. Occult rituals is what they tie this stuff to. That's what they do as part of their creepy religion. If you look at the Old Testament, people sacrifice animals to God. Well, these people sacrifice children and humans to Satan. They do. They do, and it's going to come out. There's already some stuff in the Epstein files that touches on this type of stuff, of really brutal, evil stuff. And I think it's kind of like you do something so evil and brutal to show allegiance to Satan. They call Satan the Lord of this world in the Bible. Satan is referred to in the Bible as the Lord of this world. Why? Because if you want riches, money, and fame, and worldly power, you're going to have to make your deal with the devil. And all these CEOs and actors and celebrities and politicians and religious leaders and whatever their sphere of power is, all these really powerful people in the world, they are involved. They are involved and they are connected. And they're trying to cover it up. They're trying to lie about it. They're trying to say it wasn't me. They're dishonest. They're not going to tell the truth when it comes down to it. They're not. But the truth is going to keep on coming out because that's what the truth does. The truth is like a solid rock. The truth is like a diamond scalpel. The truth cuts through everything. A lie will only last so long, but the truth is eternal. And all these lies that they have had for centuries, they're going to come out. There's a lot of stuff about how Jeffrey Epstein, was really close to the Pope. He lived with the Pope for a while. He was very close to the king I think it was one of the Emirati princes. He was close to powerful people in Saudi Arabia. All close to powerful people all over the world. The whole world over. There's nowhere in the world that has not been corrupted by this. And again, more stuff is going to come out. More crazy stuff is going to come out. More stuff is going to be revealed. And you're going to realize that we are being ruled by sick, satanic PDF files. Very sick, satanic people. Evil people, creepy people, and psychopathic people. And when I say satanic, I'm not just talking about some guy who listens to too much heavy metal and he's rebellious against his parents and he gets a 666 tattoo on his arm and, oh yeah, hail Satan. I'm talking about people that really believe in evil. I'm talking about people who really spiritually embody the devil. What does the devil do? He masquerades as an angel of light. He says he's going to save and he's going to help people and he's nice and he's cool. He's not. The devil is just trying to trick people. And the thing about Epstein, he blackmailed a lot of these people. That's how the devil works. The devil wants to blackmail people. The devil wants to tempt people to sin. Same way Epstein did. I got this island of underage girls. And then once they're ensnared in that, oh wow, now I have some information over you. And I might leak it if you don't play ball with me. That's what he did to them. That's what the devil does to us with sin when he tempts us to sin. It's the same deal. These people worship the devil. They worship spiritual evil. They do not believe in God. They do not believe in morals and ethics. And when I say believe in God, I'm not talking about just being religious. I'm not talking about banging your chest and yelling about organized religion. I'm talking about actually embodying God's morals and ethics, God's love, God's truth, God's knowledge, God's justice, God's kindness, God's mercy. They do not embody any of this. They embody Satan's deception, Satan's greed, Satan's lust, Satan's manipulation. That's what they embody, the devil's attributes. And I'm telling you, this stuff is going to keep coming out. It's going to keep rolling, and they are going to keep looking worse and worse and worse, and it might be some people that you do not expect. So I'm telling you, these Epstein files are the tip of the iceberg. There is so much more evil out there. There is so much more wickedness out there. I mean, the Federal Reserve, it's a private organization. They're definitely in the middle of this. The Rothschild family, they're definitely in the middle of this. The Rockefeller family, they're definitely in the middle of this. These powerful families, the Bush family, the Clinton family, they are in the middle of this stuff. They are. These powerful families, these power brokers who control the world's money, control the world's finances. A lot of people who lead not-for-profits are also being exposed in this. It's all a web of control. From every societal system, it's a web of control that they use. The medical system, charities and not-for-profits, the military, the police, the education system. It does not matter. Even things like organized crime, they are involved in. They're involved in anything that you can look at as a system in society. They are. And I'm telling you, like, the stuff that's going to come out is going to be shocking and horrifying. The stuff that's going to come out is going to be worse than you can ever imagine. And I'm telling you, like, the people wrapped up in it are going to be people you maybe thought were good, you maybe thought were heroes. Nah, they're wrapped up in it. They are in the middle of it. I heard some stuff about Tom Hanks leaving the country. I don't know if he's in the Epstein files or not, but it seems like he is. A lot of people admired him and looked up to him. Boom, looks like he's in it. Looks like he's there. And, they think that we're not going to stand up against this. They think that we're not going to discover the truth. They think that we're too apathetic. We're too placated to care about this, but we're not. Your average person at the point where we're like, we need to figure this out. We got to rip off the Band-Aid. We got to figure out who's who and what's what and figure out what is going on with this whole situation and get some stuff right, get some stuff figured out, because the level of injustice, the level of exploitation, the level of evil, the level of darkness, and the level of the things they've lied to us about is crazy. It's crazy. And the world is ruled by a satanic cult. That is what rules the world right now, is the devil's satanic cult. So, the devil's servants are going to be exposed. They will be exposed and they will be damned. They will. So it's up to us to just keep this conversation going. Keep talking about this. Make this the headlines. Get this to the top of the algorithm. Make everybody aware. A lot of people in my personal life that would have not talked about conspiracies of the Epstein files were having conversations about this with coworkers, with friends. And it's not weird. I'm not the weird conspiracy guy. It's normal because people are starting to wonder, what the heck is going on here? What the heck is going on here? And I'm telling you guys, it is the tip of the iceberg. There is so much worse stuff going on underneath that is just like, whoa. And I'm telling you, they have revealed to us the Diddy parties. They have revealed to us the Epstein Island. But the hundreds and thousands, there's probably thousands more of these things going on globally. Maybe tens of thousands of these kinds of things going on globally. So it's up to us to just keep pushing, to realize where there is smoke, there is fire. Let's say the cops arrest someone for selling drugs. Okay, whatever. That happens. People do that type of stuff. It's against the law, whatever. And are we going to assume that that person only sold drugs once? Are we going to assume that that person, let's say it's the cops catch someone for stealing. Are we going to assume that's the first time that person has stolen? No, we're not. We're going to assume that that person probably did that hundreds of times, maybe thousands of times, and then that person tripped up and got caught. Same with these global elites. This is what they have gotten caught for. This is what's been exposed. This is what we know about. But the stuff we don't know about is probably hundreds and thousands of times worse. It really is. And in this time, don't circle the wagons around your political person. I see both liberals and conservatives doing that, where they're trying to protect their person. Conservatives are trying to protect Trump. Liberals are trying to protect, Bernie Sanders or Obama, or they're trying to say, they don't really have a specific figurehead to protect, but they're trying to say, oh, it's not our people, it's their people. And you have to let go of the political left versus right dichotomy right now, because they're playing both sides. Jeffrey Epstein played both sides. That's what he did. He played both sides. He manipulated world affairs. And right now we got to realize, okay, let's not be split into two camps. Let's realize that the people on both sides are doing this stuff. Lots of people on both sides. And this whole political dichotomy is being fed to us by them. It is. The whole matrix is being fed to us by them. Our whole worldview is being fed to us by them. It's being carefully curated through the media and through the education system. It's being very carefully curated and fed to us. And they are trying to program us to be a certain kind of person. And if we're so caught up on the left versus right, well, we're not going to focus on them and it's going to get swept under the rug. But if we say, forget about all this left versus right stuff, let's focus on the real deal. Let's focus on who the bad people are, regardless of political alignment, because it's just a game to them. They don't really care about it that much. They're trying to have power however they can. Bottom line, and the divide and conquer tactic of politics works very well. So they'll use it. It's effective. So I think it's time for all of us to break out of that matrix and to start to realize, hey, there's some bad people at the top. There's injustice in this world. Let's start at the top. Let's put those people to justice. Let's make sure they're not in positions of power. Let's make sure they pay for their crimes. And let's try to build a better world, because this type of stuff, it goes really deep. And the more people are educated on it, the more people know about it, people will start to want to take action. People will become upset at the injustice. People will become upset at what has happened to the victims. I would say your average person lacks empathy, but when it comes to something this bad, it's so over the line, it's so extreme, that even your average person that's apathetic will go, whoa, okay, it's time to do something here. It's time to put a stop to this, because holy crap, this is evil. It's beyond evil. It's beyond sick. Who knows what kind of stuff they have done, but, you know, you can kind of assume the worst. You can really kind of assume the worst. And beyond all the nasty, evil sexual stuff they did, I mean, it's like, how much of our tax money went to these people? How much of our tax money are these people getting? You know, what have they done with their corporations or their celebrity power or influence to manipulate us? How have we been controlled? How have we been psyoped? What natural disaster, not natural disasters, but what pandemics, what terrorist attacks, what kind of stuff was real and what was actually faked? We're going to have to really look into all this stuff and, you know, get to the truth of it. And this is a moment where we can really break the matrix. We really can. There's a lot of opportunity here. So as dark as this stuff is, as evil as this stuff is, it's good that it's being revealed and it's good that it's coming out. So yeah, I'm going to end this video here. Thank you all so much for watching. Much love. God bless. And I will see you all next time.